Hey everybody, this is the end of July, and our kids are now thinking about going back to school, and the parents now have to figure out how they're going to be able to afford buying supplies for the kids. Um, this government is sucking the life out of everybody who is an American. We're charging more for groceries, more for gas, more in taxes, more in aggravation, getting less out of it, and then they take credit for anything that's good and condemn everything that's bad and blames it on no support for the other side. We need to understand one thing. It's basically us against the Democratic Party. The reason why I say that is I don't normally like to side a party out, but when a party single-handedly tries to destroy our country, our democracy, I can't support them anymore. People that are union workers are supporting the Democrats because they feel that the Democrats are for the little guys. Maybe many years back it was that way, where they were caring about the people who worked. But as I'm seeing more, is they could care less about you or me or anybody else but themselves. They have multiple homes. They have pet projects that they put between different bills and stuff that they want to go through and try to rush it through government to get it passed on and piggybacked on some other project. Now, there is no such thing as government funded. It's all our money. And we've been paying for it our whole life. And now, as we get older and we're senior citizens and stuff, we're getting actually less than people on welfare or the illegals that come over the border with all the stuff that they're given just for coming over. I'm not against the fact of people coming here from other countries. I'm happy that they have the opportunity, but there is a way of going about it, and it's not sneaking in here. It's not by trying to buy your way through. It's by doing it the right way. It's fair to the other legal ones that have come in the legal way. Every government has a way of doing things. We had it working for us for a long time, but since this administration's got in there, that went right out the window, and everybody and anybody came across our borders, and we don't even know what the impact is going to do on us financially, as well as, our safety. When we have a border, it's not to so much keep people out, it's to protect our borders against people that we don't know, people that we shouldn't trust, and people that are out to harm us. Face it, we're not one of the popular countries in the world, us and as well as Israel. And there are a lot of countries out there who know now that we're very vulnerable, and since we're very vulnerable, we are very susceptible to attack or a terrorist action. Now, if we choose to look the other way and pretend it's not going to happen to us, then we're stupid. If we think and do it the right way, we can actually save ourselves a lot of headache. It took 5+ years for the economy to start anything back up after 9/11 happened. It's still fighting its way back to where we once were at that time. And it was because we were not prepared. And now that we are prepared in certain things, we have to be smart about it. We can't be stupid and trust everybody and anybody. That's not the way to run a government. It's not by tyranny, it's not by threats, it's not by anything else. We have a way that the founding fathers put in practice to go ahead and this is the way, if you want to come into this country, these are the prerequisites. This is what you have to do. That means you want to come here and you're willing to give up where you came from and its way of going about doing things, and that you're going to come here and in open arms accept our ways. As we're seeing it now, that's not the way it is. These people are choosy. They don't want to do something, they don't do it. If they're not accepting our ways. If you come here from another country, you don't come here waving your flag from your country you're leaving. You would come here wearing America, we love you, something to indicate that you're part of this team. Because you know what? You can say what you want to, but when the crap hits the fan and something goes wrong, who are we going to count on to defend our country against our enemies? If it's not going to be the youth because they don't want to get involved or get hurt, what is it going to be? It's going to be the senior citizens once again having to deal out this country out of a war. You know what I mean? We got to be smart about it. And this government that's in there doesn't bank on the fact that there's things wrong that we can be in trouble. You know, they're making their millions of dollars. They have their multiple homes. They do this, they do that. Well, now everything that they're finding out that was on their policy is not really good. All the solar panels are made in China. All the chemicals that are used to make solar panels are doing more damage to the atmosphere and everything else. And what about the wind generators that are causing the sea creatures to run up on shore because it's throwing all different sound waves and stuff throughout the ocean's floor that is confusing them and they're running aground. You know, there's consequences for actions, and instead of pointing the finger at the American people all the time, there's only one way to save the country and to save the world and to save the animals, and that's by praying to Jesus Christ Almighty. He's the creator of the heavens and the earth, and he's the only one who could make it better and to make it last. If we don't put God first in anything, then this world is doomed regardless. Even if we figured it out, even if we go to zero emissions in this country, it's not going to do any different, nothing better. We won't even move up 1 percentage point so that we could say, oh, see, we're on the right track. And when Biden went to China, asking China to get on our bandwagon about the Green Deal, he laughed at us and says, no, he's not getting behind it. And most countries aren't. And whose fault is that? It's his. We were independent of fuel. He cut the Union people's throats. He then stopped the drilling and the pumping of oil in our oil reserves and throughout our country. We had everything there and we were making better quality products than he's trying to buy from foreign countries, which then we got to go ahead and clean up 3 times before it actually is able to be used. If this country is going to get better, then as Americans, we have to get better. We cannot allow this government to get away with murder. They tried to impeach the president. They messed up and they didn't win their case. Why should we fork out the bill for that? The party, the Democrats, should be the one that pays for everything, not the American people. The American people didn't call for that. They did. Everything that they do, they pick and choose what they want to do at our expense. We have to say no more. We have to say from now on, it's got to go through us. They have to start asking us what we want to do and what we agree upon, not what they want to do and, oh, well, you live with it, because that's what they're actually doing. Until you get off your butt, America, and make a stand and says, we're not dealing with this no more, and we're not paying you all this money for what you're doing to this country, and multiple pensions after you retire, that should only be one pension, because you didn't even earn that one, but it should be the highest office that you hold, not multiple pensions. And the health care that you're offered should be the same that you give your Social Security people. I mean, why should we have to suffer with minimal stuff when you guys can get carte blanche from wherever you want, travel whenever you want, have multiple homes? It's not because you're wise with your money, it's your inside trading. It's all this under the table dealing that you guys do. See, American people are afraid to say anything about it. They don't think they could do anything. But you want to know something? When Trump won the election, that shows you that if enough people get behind an idea, we could change things. Do you realize, country, if nobody ever paid their taxes, they don't have jails to hold anybody that amount anyway. So what could they possibly do? Nothing. We have to start making some very serious judgment calls on what we're allowing this government to do and act as our representatives. It doesn't start with the government. It doesn't start with the opposite party. It starts with us. We have to get off our ass and we have to start opening up our minds and start really realizing who we're up against. There are things we could do, but we have to be willing to do whatever it takes. I love this country. My family fought, some died to keep freedom in this country. And I don't like the idea of letting people come from foreign countries who leave just because things get tough to come into our country, and then if you say, could you fight alongside us, they'll say no. Or our youth don't want to get anything involved about shooting anybody or going to war to defend anything. So if you don't open up your mouth, make some noise, start making some good judgment calls based on yourself and your beliefs, this country hasn't got a chance in hell, number one. Number two, you're taking God out of everything, and then you wonder why this world is going down in flames. You know, every country looks at America at one point and feared it, not because we were more powerful, but we were unified. We were all one. When we were attacked at Pearl Harbor, this country got together and we worked as a team, and we built this army, our military, to be stronger than any in the world. And we need to get back to that. Right now, we can get attacked by a bunch of guys that had rags on their heads, who would throw rocks at people, and who lived in caves over the toughest military in the world. We can't allow this to happen. And I'm not trying to say that, oh, I think all these people are a joke and everything else. No, I'm not. What I'm saying is we have to know who our enemy is. We have to know what our government is doing. Is the government working for us or somebody else? If it is, we have to hold them accountable. If they're trying to erase the Constitution of the United States, then they're no longer with us. They're against us, because these were set in place for our protection from other governments, from socialism. And everybody says, oh, it's not about that. It's changing with the times. It's this and that. No. If you look hard enough and long enough, you'll realize that it's more to it than that. It's them against us. It's power and money against the little guys. It's all about control. If Bill Gates comes up with the idea that we have to thin out the population, and now he's buying up huge farms all over the country, what does that tell you? That's telling me he wants to control the foods. And that means less for you and me and our children. Now we have to someday meet our Maker, and how we have to face them, we have to be accountable. And we have to be honest, because we're not going to have nobody defend us. So now we have to look at things and say, you know what? What's best for our children down the line, for generations to come? Do we want to leave them in debt? Do we want to leave them so that they have no control over anything in their life? That they only are a number? That they have to wait in line for food? When the way our country was run before, everything was plentiful? Farmers now are being paid not to raise certain crops so that it keeps the prices the way they are. But now, what's going to happen when we have more people that are coming from other countries? We need to be able to have food to sustain all these people coming over. Now, like I says, you could sit there and you could watch your TV shows, pretend that nothing's wrong, and think that this guy that's talking to you right now is some nutball. But I'm telling you something, there's a bigger picture here, and you better start opening up your eyes. I love my country. I love what it brings to the people of this country. Social Security for the older peoples shouldn't be as low as it is, because they're not able to take medicine because they have a bill to pay. You have people coming here that never put a penny into this country, and they're getting money and food and everything else more than any of the senior citizens are in this world. And we've paid in all our life. If that's okay with you, that's fine. But it's not with me and others like myself. We count because we built this country. We helped work to make this country great. If you choose not to do that, you'll have to live with it, and the generations after will have to look at that and despise you for not fighting for your rights and your causes. But I'm telling you one thing, this country better stand up and start thinking about what they do and what we allow this government to do. For people who believe in what I have to say and how I think, I give you my salute, my thankfulness, and let's put God on the throne. Let's take this government out and let's show them that we the people stand for something, that we love our country, that we love the freedom that we have right now. Only one thing, it starts with people like you and me. And if we don't do anything, we're done. So think about what I said. You have a great evening. I love America. Be blessed. And I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.